Welcome to Aspire with the Florists. Let's ignite your aspirations together. In a world where longevity is often seen as an elusive dream, Dr. Attia and Bill Gifford have teamed up to deliver a groundbreaking audiobook that promises to change the way we approach aging. Outlive, the Science and Art of Longevity, is not just another self-help guide or trendy biohacking manual. It's a comprehensive exploration of the science behind extending lifespan while improving overall health and well-being. Released on Audible on March 28, 2023, Outlive immediately captured the attention of listeners eager to discover the secrets to a longer, healthier life. Dr. Attia, a renowned longevity expert, featured on Chris Hemsworth's National Geographic documentary, Limitless, brings his expertise to the forefront, offering a personalized, proactive approach to longevity that goes beyond mainstream medicine's traditional interventions. At the heart of Outlive is the recognition that conventional medicine has largely failed in its battle against the diseases of aging, such as heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, and type 2 diabetes. Rather than waiting until these diseases manifest themselves and then attempting to treat them, Dr. Attia advocates for a shift toward prevention and early intervention. By adopting a strategic approach to health and longevity, listeners can not only extend their lifespan, but also enhance their physical, cognitive, and emotional well-being. What sets Outlive apart from other books on longevity is its emphasis on science-based strategies, rather than quick fixes or fads. Dr. Attia draws on the latest research in areas such as nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress management, and hormone optimization to provide listeners with practical advice and actionable steps they can take to improve their health and longevity. One of the most compelling aspects of Outlive is its exploration of the concept of slow death versus fast death. Dr. Attia vividly describes his experiences as a medical student, witnessing patients succumb to chronic illnesses, highlighting the limitations of a healthcare system focused on treating symptoms rather than addressing underlying causes. Through poignant anecdotes and insightful analysis, he challenges listeners to rethink their approach to health and mortality. To give you a taste of what to expect from Outlive, here's an Audible sample of the audiobook narrated by Dr. Attia.
Called the duodenum. It's a difficult, dangerous operation, and in the early days, it was almost always fatal. Yet still, surgeons attempted it. That's how desperate pancreatic cancer is. By the time I was in training, more than 99% of patients survived for at least 30 days after this surgery. We had gotten pretty good at catching the eggs. At that point in my life, I was determined to become the best cancer surgeon that I could possibly be. I had worked really hard to get where I was. Most of my high school teachers, and even my parents, had not expected me to make it to college, much less graduate from Stanford Medical School. But more and more, I found myself torn. On the one hand, I loved the complexity of these surgeries, and I felt elated every time we finished a successful procedure. We had removed the tumor. We had caught the egg, or so we thought. On the other hand, I was beginning to wonder how success was defined. The reality was that nearly all these patients would still die within a few years. The egg would inevitably hit the ground. What were we really accomplishing? When I finally recognized the futility of this, I grew so frustrated that I quit medicine for an entirely different career. But then a confluence of events occurred that ended up radically changing the way I thought about health and disease. I made my way back into the medical profession with a fresh approach and new hope. The reason why goes back to my dream about the falling eggs. In short, it had finally dawned on me that the only way to solve the problem was not to get better at catching the eggs. Instead, we needed to try to stop the guy who was throwing them. We had to figure out how to get on top of the building, find the guy, and take him out. I'd have relished that job in real life, As a young boxer, I had a pretty mean left hook. But medicine is obviously a bit more complicated. Ultimately, I realized that we needed to approach the situation, the falling eggs, in an entirely different way, with a different mindset, and using a different set of tools. That, very briefly, is what this book is about. Part 1. Chapter 1. The Long Game. From Fast Death to Slow Death. There comes a point where we need to stop just pulling people out of the river. We need to go upstream and find out why they're falling in. Bishop Desmond Tutu. I'll never forget the first patient whom I ever saw die. It was early in my second year of medical school, and I was spending a Saturday evening volunteering at the hospital, which is something the school encouraged us to do. But we were only supposed to observe, because by that point, we knew just enough to be dangerous. At some point, a woman in her mid-30s came into the ER complaining of shortness of breath. She was from East Palo Alto, a pocket of poverty in that otherwise very wealthy town. While the nurses snapped a set of EKG leads on her chest and fitted an oxygen mask over her nose and mouth, I sat by her side, trying to distract her with small talk. "What's your name? Do you have kids? How long have you been feeling this way?" All of a sudden, her face tightened with fear, and she began gasping for breath. Then her eyes rolled back, and she lost consciousness. Within seconds, nurses and doctors flooded into the ER bay and began running a code on her, snaking a breathing tube down her airway and injecting her full of potent drugs in a last-ditch effort at resuscitation. Meanwhile, one of the residents began doing chest compressions on her prone body. Every couple of minutes, everyone would step back as the attending physician slapped defibrillation paddles on her chest, and her body would twitch with the immense jolt of electricity. Everything was precisely choreographed. They knew the drill. I shrank into a corner, trying to stay out of the way, but the resident doing CPR caught my eye and said, "Hey man, can you come over here and relieve me? Just pump with the same force and rhythm that I'm doing now, okay?" So I began doing compressions for the first time in my life on someone who was not a mannequin. But nothing worked. She died, right there on the table as I was still pounding on her chest. Just a few minutes earlier, I'd been asking her about her family. A nurse pulled the sheet up over her face, and everyone scattered as quickly as they could.
This sample from Outlive captures the captivating narrative style of the audiobook, seamlessly weaving together personal anecdotes with profound scientific insights. It's a testament to Dr. Peter Attia's ability to engage and inspire listeners, offering a thought-provoking journey that challenges conventional wisdom and encourages a fresh perspective on health and longevity. If you're ready to take control of your health and unlock the secrets to a longer, healthier life, I highly recommend giving Outlive, the Science and Art of Longevity a listen. Click on the link in the description to get your free audiobook with a free trial on Amazon Audible and embark on a journey toward a brighter, healthier future. Don't wait until it's too late to start living your best life. Start today with Outlive. Thank you for tuning in at Aspire with the Florises. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content.